Last time on Let's Build a House, we went up high and installed the unvented and vented vinyl soffit. We also bent metal on our brake and finished the cornice. Lastly, we started prepping for subcontractors. It took steps to enclose the house so we could turn on the heat for drywall. This episode, we have some of Smitty's friends come in and help us run all the pipe and water lines, install the ductwork and HVAC systems, frame around the ductwork for drywall, and we take a family trip to Arlington National Cemetery to pay respects for Smitty's mother. Let's build a house.
Bam. All ready.
The pipe to rough in our plumbing is on site. To get started on the plumbing, Smitty and I went around and marked all the toilet, sink, and shower drain locations. Next, we confirmed the location and cut in the holes for the plumbing in all the bathrooms. This will give our plumber Mike the opportunity to start running pipe throughout the house. Mike is on the beginning of a short list of subcontractors that we're going to hire. Along this journey, Smitty, Amy, and I have been responsible for the direction and all the decisions. But part of a subcontractor's talent is knowing their craft well enough to make smart recommendations. By trade, Smitty and I are no plumbers, but Mike showed us exactly how he thought things should go, and his work turned out beautifully. This process of building our house has meant so much to me that I almost missed out on a valuable lesson. You can be just as much a part of the process without being the lead. With Mike done for the time being, Smitty and I hop back up on the roof to install the pipe collars on the stink pipes protruding through the roof. Stink pipes provide ventilation for any pipe networks that handle sewage and gray water. Here's a straightforward illustration of how stink pipes function. Here's the thing though, stink pipes exit through the roof, which means we have to cover that nasty hole we made with a pipe collar.
And then this is the boot that we'll have to cut around the 2-inch pipe size to make it fit here. But what we do is drop, this is a tight seal here, we drop this over, we got to pull shingles out of this area and then lay them back over this edge of metal here like a typical step flashing so we can shed the water away from this hole.
And what's this venting? Is it venting the...
This lets any potential trapped gas or air that's in your drainage system, your toilet, bathroom stuff, it lets it vent out. It's like a bottle of soda. When you let the air out, it drains down.
Right.
The air can trap, and you ever hear a pipe go glunk, glunk,
Yeah.
glunk?
Yeah.
It's because there's air caught in the system.
Okay. And why is this a plumbing role, not the duct or HVAC role?
It's all part of the drainage system. It's all part of it.
Okay.
In fact, the code regarding these vents is very strict. The dimension from certain drainage points in the house to where you vent from, I think 7 feet is the number.
Yeah.
But it has to be vented so that that air pocket leaves and your system can drain.
Okay. Gotcha. With the PVC drain lines complete, the next portion of plumbing was running the water lines. The water lines are for shower faucets, sinks, laundry machine, and our pot filler. These are the PEX water lines. they have replaced the traditional copper and galvanized steel water lines. They kept it simple. The blue lines are for cold water and the red lines are for hot. Before running the water lines from their locations in the house to our manifold, we took time to insulate the pipes. The insulation makes the pipes more resistant to temperature changes. Once the pipes were insulated, I started installing them along the joist bays in the basement. We'll run these lines from their location in the house, down interior walls, directly to our manifold. If this is your first time hearing about a manifold for water lines, well, it was mine too. Think about a manifold as your water line's command center. A manifold organizes all of your water line valves in one easy-to-reach location. To build this, we had one of Smitty's close friends come over to help point us in the right direction. We chose not to show his face throughout his time helping us with the manifold because he's that ugly. Once we were done with assembling the manifold, the next step was to find a good location in the basement. We wanted to install the manifold close to our electrical box in an organized fashion. Once we installed the blocking for the manifold, we secured the manifold to the wall brackets and screwed them to the wall. We installed the second 8-port offset of the first. Once we finished securing them to the wall bracket, we started running the water lines to their respective valve. The extra work to build this manifold has some serious benefits. If I come across a leak in the master bathroom vanity, I can go downstairs, locate the master vanity valve, and turn it off. Without a manifold, you're required to turn off all the water in the house if there's any issues. I also think it looks clean.
My trunk's going to be out here someplace, as close to the outside wall as I can keep it.
Okay.
I'll go up through the floor into the bottom of it.
Okay. Okay. You're going to mimic this again?
This is only going to be 10.
Okay.
So it's 16, whatever you want between, and then 10.
It'll come straight out. This one is going to come out a little higher and it's going to come down and sweep out. The reason for that is I like home runs,
Gotcha.
especially on line sets.
Okay.
I like to go, if I can, from there to there, one piece.
So you don't want a coupler now?
I don't want a 90, I don't want a coupler, I don't want anything. So I'm going to try to sweep it right out.
Whatever you got to do.
So one will look like that and one will look like that.
You got it, man.
Well, that's what it sounds like when you hire really good subcontractors. We hired Scott and John for the ventilation and duct work in the house. The HVAC and ductwork installation is not a job that you want to cut a corner on. Quality ductwork will improve the overall comfort of our home. It will increase the air quality circulating throughout the house and will decrease the strain on the system, saving us money on heating and air conditioning costs. Scott and John were super helpful in recommending the best ways to run the ductwork through the entire house. Their work was impressive. Most of the ductwork will be covered or hidden, and they still went the extra mile to produce ductwork art. Next, we hired Rick to install the 2 American Standard gas furnaces and matching heat pumps. He installed one in the basement and one on the 3rd floor. After those were installed, we had to install the propane manifold. This will function the same as the PEX manifold. The range in the kitchen, our gas fireplace, the furnaces, and the propane tank itself will run to this manifold for an easy shutoff if needed.
You're going to take the weight from below. All right. I got the weight on this side. Okay. So just put the button, okay? Good there?
With the manifold installed, we had a temporary propane tank delivered so we could get some heat in here for when we go to drywall in a couple weeks. With the ductwork complete, Smitty and I had to go throughout the house and frame around any ductwork that protrudes into the room. We have to frame around this so the drywallers will have a nailer for their sheetrock. When the drywallers finish, you'll have no idea that ductwork runs throughout portions of this house. If you've been following along, you might remember when I framed this doorway in the summer. We were originally going to put a door here and keep these stairs and the bonus room unfinished, but after some conversations, we changed our mind. Instead, we're going to tear this doorway out and build a new wall to the bonus room. Our budget is not going to allow us to finish the bonus room yet, but we feel comfortable finishing this staircase and excited to have an attractive and easier route to the master bedroom. We had one other change. Amy came up with an idea to frame a faux beam outlining the kitchen. She thought it would look good to drop faux beams where the nook, kitchen, and living room intersect. To do this, we added a 2x6 nailer, built a 12-inch wide ladder, and fastened it to the ceiling nailer. We designed the room to be an open concept first floor, but adding drywalled faux beams almost makes you feel like you're in a different space. After finishing the framing changes, we had to take a trip down to Arlington National Cemetery. Smitty's mom and my grandmother, Alice, passed away at the age of 94. She is being buried here because her husband and my grandfather was a veteran of World War II and Korea. He was one of the many heroes that stormed the beaches of Normandy. Throughout this story, so much of building this house has to do with building our family's future. But we would never have an opportunity for our future without the heroes of our past. Although Alice didn't serve in the Army, she was an Army wife and mother. And I know firsthand the sacrifice and stress of being an Army spouse. So for that, Alice, we say thank you for your service. You will be missed.
Next time on Let's Build a House.